everyone, so today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I thought I would film instead of write out my post. So what I'm going to be doing is kind of get ready with me, just really quick, simple, easy. I have an errand to go run, so just something to throw on to kind of wake ourselves up and look our best for our day. So to get started, so next, what I like to start with is I like to prime my eyes, so to say. But instead of using a primer, I go in with my MAC concealer. So this is the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. And so what I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to take the tiniest pump I can. So just about that much. And that'll still probably be a little much. And I just like to dab it around. And I'm going to come right in. And I'm just going to put on my eyes. I have a lot of veins in my eyes that are really noticeable. So I just like to do this to really just start with a clean base to make sure that they're covered and that we're just starting off with as solid of a color as we can get. I know it's hard with redness and whatnot, but there we go. Awesome. So I'm also going to wipe off the product that's left on my hand. If you don't, it'll kind of dry and soak into your skin and it'll be really difficult to get off later. So next, what I'm going to go in with is I just grab any large flat brush. This is just one from XOXO. I don't even know what it's called. I've had it for years, but this one's my favorite, just any flat large brush. And then I go in with a new color. So I'm going to be using this one right here from Tarte. This is actually a holiday palette from either last Christmas or the Christmas before, but just any tan nude colored shadow. We're just going to go right in and we're just going to cover the entire eye. This doesn't have to be precise. It can be messy. We're going to cover it up anyways, but just to kind of once again just give us a nice base that's clean and ready for shadow. Perfect. So after that, the next color I'm going to go in is I'm going to grab a large fluffy brush. So I'm going to be using the Sigma E40. So it's just a big tapered blending brush. And the color I'm going to be going in with, if I can get my palette open, is this one right here. And this is the Morphe, the Jaclyn Hill Favorites palette. This palette is currently not available, but what you can do, they have another one that's out called the 350. So that one's great. It's all warms, all browns, great shadows, and I'm sure they have one that's very similar to this one in it. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit of that product, and we're just going to go right into our crease. And I just go in windshield wiper motions. Once again, just really sloppy. I'm not really worried about being super precise. Just to make sure that we're getting it in there. And we're starting to build that crease color. I'm going to do the same thing, just with the same color one more time. Just go in, circular motions. However you like to do it, you do you. Next, I'm going to go in with this Sigma E25, and this is just more of a tapered blending brush. And so I'm going to go in with the same color. And basically all we're doing right now is we're just building that crease color up. So the more colors we use and the more we pack in there, just the more dimension we're going to get in our crease. And it's going to look a lot more natural just by how much we blend. Just once again, just a little bit more product, and we're just going to continue to build this crease color till it's to our liking. So after that, I like to go in with a big brush that's completely clean. So this is the Crown brush. I got this in my Ipsy bag. If you don't know what Ipsy is, I wrote about it in my last Things I'm Loving Tuesday. So I definitely go check it out. I should get my next one soon, and I'd like to do a video when I open it for y'all. So let me know if that's something y'all want to see. So with this brush, it has no product on it. What we're going to do is we're just going to go in and we're going to blend out all that color that we just put on. Just to once again make sure that we have a completely seamless shadow. We don't want to have a big line or anything, but just to make sure that everything's blending and looking smooth. So perfect. After that, I'm going to go in with a lighter shadow. This is one of my favorite things to do. It's kind of not really smoky, but kind of darker crease. And then I'll just go in with a lighter shadow to brighten up the whole eye. So I'm going in, this is by Pixie Beauty. It is the Memorizing Mineral Dew and Apricot Glow. And so I'm going with this lighter shade. This is once again from my Ipsy bag as well. I love this. It's a great shadow, really pigmented, and I feel like it's such a pretty natural sheen that kind of just makes the eyes have a little bit of pop. So So we're just going to go and cover the whole eyelid. Once again, I'm not really taking my time or being precise. It'll all come together. So after that, I'm going to go right back in with that same E25, the Sigma brush, and I'm going to take the brown and just tap a little bit, and I'm just going to go right in my crease just to kind of blend the shimmer and the matte so that it's not a very stark contrast. Perfect. So after that, we are pretty much done with shadows. Love this. If you don't have Ipsy and you're not very familiar with Pixie Beauty, a different one that you can use, this is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Eyeshadow, and this one is in Amber Rush. I love this shadow. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. It's a very pretty rose gold. However, it's kind of hard to get the metallic color to really come across unless you kind of use your brush with either eye drops or the MAC Studio Fix or something like that. So I like to go with just a more natural sheen, more so than the actual pigment of metallic shadow. So from there, what I like to do is my brows. So I'm going to go in with just a spoolie, and we're just going to brush them out. Make sure that all the hairs are in place. I know I have very long brow hairs, and so Dakota always likes to make fun of me and let me know when they're looking crazy. So the brush I'm going to go in with, this is just a little brush. It's tapered. And so this is actually a liner brush that I got from, I'm not even sure where, I've had it for years, so I love this. But just any brush that you want it to be definitely on the thinner side, and you just want to really be able to get a really good definition with this, because we don't want our brows to look messy. So that's something that will definitely take more time on. So next what I'm doing is I'm putting a little bit of product on my hand, the back of my hand. What I'm going in with is the NYX Eyebrow Gel in the color Blonde. I love this stuff. I think this is absolutely great. I've tried a lot of different brow products from high-end to drugstore, and this one is definitely one of my favorites. I think it definitely holds the brows and it gives a really good color. So I'm just going to kind of dab it around on my hand, get some on my brush, and we're just going to go right in. I like to start kind of at the base of my brow, and then I move my way back and just kind of thicken and darken up the tail, as I have very thin eyebrows naturally. So filling in eyebrows is definitely a must, and it makes a huge difference just in the overall look. I just recently started filling my brows, probably within the past year or so, and it is something I will never stop doing now that I've learned how to do it. I actually hate doing my brows. I think it's a very tedious process that I'm not very fond of, but it's definitely necessary. So I'm going to once again just wipe off this product. This is another one that it'll dry and it'll soak in and it'll kind of be really messy to get off later, so just go ahead and do it now. Next I'm going to go in with a brow gel. Any brow gel works. This is actually the Sonia Kashuk from Target. I love it. It was clear at one point. You can see I've used it. It's actually almost gone. I need to get a new one, but just anyone who will work to just lock those brows in and really keep them there for the whole day. Next, I'm going to go in and I'm going to curl my lashes. Any eyelash curler will work. I'll give you one of my little tips that I love to do is I love to warm up my eyelash curler with my blow dryer for a few seconds. So I'll show you exactly what I do right now. So I just take my blow dryer. I'm just going to heat it up. So I just count to 10 and make sure it's cooled down. Perfect. I want to make sure that I get them as curled as possible. Awesome. So I'm going to go in. I have two mascaras that I use on a day-to-day basis. Whatever works for you. So the one I'm going to start with is the Maybelline Pepped Up Colossal Volume Express. I love this one. And the reason I go with two is because this one is actually almost empty. But I like it because it's a really good base to kind of just give a good coat. And it doesn't clump. It goes on really smooth. I think it's perfect just for that base layer. So next what I do is I go in with, this is L'Oreal. I'm pretty sure this is the Telescope Dip. I'm not positive. It looks like this packaging wise. There's not a name on it, so I'm not really sure. I like this one, however, it definitely gets clumpy. So I'm going to go ahead and just wipe off the brush. I also haven't had this one as long, but I would definitely say that it's harder to get a good smooth layer with this one. So that's why I'm going to go back in with the Pumped Up Colossal one after this. As you can see, I definitely make a mess with this one sometimes as it's harder to do it, but I haven't taken the plunge and just bought a new one completely yet. I'm sure that'll be on my list. If y'all have any suggestions of which ones I should get, please let me know. That's definitely something I'm in the market for right now. So I'm going to go back in just to kind of smooth out any clumps, any problems that I see from the other layers. Perfect. So there we go. So eyes are almost completed. So I'm going to go back in with my wipe. I just like to wipe my under eyes just for any fallout, any mascara that may have gotten down there. Just make sure that we have a really clean base before we move along. Okay, so next what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw in a little bit of primer. I'm not a huge primer person. Sometimes I like it just right here for the tip of my nose. This is the Maybelline Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser. I have really prominent pores on my nose, so I just like to kind of dab that on there just to kind of disguise it a little bit. So next, I'm going to tell you how I would do these steps if I were using liquid foundation. I'm not going to be today, but if that's something you like to do, then I'll tell you how I would go about that. So what I'm about to go in with is the NYX Dark Circle Concealer. So I just go in, I do a really messy layer under my eye, just as once again kind of a base layer, and this is totally not necessary. However, I have very prominent under eye circles and they're very pigmented with like a purpley blue color. So I like to go in with this just for kind of a base. If I were going to do liquid foundation, I would do it now. So I would just go ahead, pop that on, and do that now. I'm also going to take a little bit of a green primer, just any primer that's in a green. I know NYX has one, Ulta has one. There's plenty on the market. And I just like to pop that kind of on my cheeks and around my nose, just because I hold a lot of redness there from hormones and whatnot. So perfect. So like I said, you would do your liquid foundation here if that's something you were going to do. I'm not, so I'm going to go straight in with my concealer. This is once again the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. Tiniest pump I can get. That's actually way too much product, but sometimes it's hard to get the little pumps out. So we're just going to go in. I'm going to take my finger, I'm going to dab it around. I'm just going to slap it on there. And we're going to go in with a beauty blender as well, so I'm not really worried about blending this in or making sure that it's perfect. So I come all the way down here just to kind of give a highlight as well and to kind of once again hide some of that redness since I'm not using a liquid foundation. I do a pretty generous coat just to once again try to hide those circles that I have. I'm going to dab a little bit right there. I have a little bump right there that I want to conceal. So once I feel like I have kind of everything covered, I'm going to go in with my beauty blender. I mean, you can get these from, Sephora carries the actual brand beauty blender, but you can also get the Real Technique ones from Ulta. Walmart has some, Target has some, so just whatever kind you like. So just make sure that it's nice and damp, and then we're going to go in and we're really going to smooth all that out. Okay, so we're going to go in, and I just like to do little dabbing motions just to make sure. You really don't have to do a lot. This concealer is good. You could honestly blend it in with your fingers if you didn't want to even bother with a beauty blender. I like to just because I'm not doing liquid foundation, so I want to make sure that it looks exactly how I want it to, but this concealer is great and it blends very easily. It was a really nice color. So now I'm going to show you one of my biggest tricks. It's something I absolutely love to do. I do it every single time I wear concealer, and I will never stop doing it once I learned about it. So basically what I'm going to do is called baking your concealer. So I'm going to go in, this is the e.l.f. High Definition Powder. Really cheap. I think it's like $3 from Target. Basically it just comes in this little container. This container is very, very messy. So I'd definitely be aware of that before you do it. But I'm just going to take this little puffy thing that they provide. I'm going to get a lot of product, and I'm going to go right in, and I'm just going to dab this all over wherever we put concealer. You want a lot of product on this, and it doesn't matter if it's blended in, if you can see it. Basically, you just really want to coat that area down in a really good layer. And you want to use a very fine powder. You don't want to use a pressed powder for this. You definitely want a loose powder and one that's very fine. I have some that are kind of chalky and they don't work as well for this technique. So I would definitely recommend this one. This is a really good one that I really like, and it gets the job done. So we're going to let this sit for just a few seconds. I'm going to grab some of my other brushes real fast just to kind of pass the time. And then I'll show you what we're going to do next. We're almost done, not too much more. So Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on, this is the Sigma Tapered Face F25. I love this. It's perfect for setting under eyes, really just doing whatever you need. So we're just going to go through, and we're just going to wipe away all of that extra product. So as you can see, this really kind of mattified, and it really set my concealer. And I love this technique. I'm telling y'all, I can wear this concealer all day long. I can take a nap in the middle of the day. I can really do whatever, and this stuff isn't going to budge. I mean, my concealer is going to sit, and it's going to sit there all day. So I absolutely love that. So next, what I'm going to go in with is just my powder. I'm currently using Mary Kay, just a mineral foundation powder. Whatever you want. I used to have Bare Minerals. I love that one as well. I still have Mary Kay on hand, so that's what I'm going to go in with. So I just like to go, and just to kind of bring a little bit of color. I know that when we do the concealer and we set it that way, it can kind of flesh out the skin. So this is a great way to just kind of pop a little bit more color. If you already went in with your liquid foundation, then this isn't really necessary. If you want to, go for it. But if not, you can just skip ahead to when we start doing bronzer, and that'll just go ahead and warm up your skin naturally. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go in with bronzer. Next, I love this Too Faced. This is the Chocolate Soleil in medium deep. I love this because it's matte, but it still has kind of an ashy shade, which creates a good shadow effect when we're trying to contour. So I'm just going to go in. This is the Sigma F40 brush, and I love this because it gives a good contour, but it also kind of bronzes at the same time, because I'm not looking for like a very sharp contour or anything super dramatic. I'm just kind of trying to warm up the skin, but still define the cheekbones at the same time. So I feel like these two combined is a great way to do that. I'm going to hit the temples of my face, and then I like to just go under my chin and my neck just to kind of blend everything down. The best part about this is it literally tastes and smells like chocolate. So as I'm brushing it, I can feel some in my tongue, and it literally tastes like it's chocolate. So I wouldn't recommend eating it, but if you get it in your mouth, you know it tastes good. So next, I'm going in with my Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush in the color Glisten. Love this blush. If you haven't read my Things I'm Loving Tuesday about this product, you definitely should. This is a great product. Lasts forever. They have plenty of colors. I know I am definitely wanting to go and get some more colors just to kind of switch it up, but this one's my favorite. So I just go ahead, dab this on the cheeks. Just any blush brush. This is from Mark. I don't know if you've heard them. I think they're only really an online company, but there we go, just to add a little bit more color in the skin, warm everything back up, and kind of really create a dimensional looking face. So next thing for the face is we're going to go in with, of course, none other than the Becca highlighter in Champagne Pop. I love this highlighter, y'all. I mean, this is seriously one of my favorite makeup items that I own. I still am obsessed with Opal as well. That's the other one I have, and I love that. I'll hold them side by side here in a second so you can see the color difference. But this one's great. I mean, this one is a lot more sheer. I think it's not as dramatic and bold as Opal is, which is good, especially I'm going into my work office today, so that's great because you don't want to look like we're going out to a club or anything like that when we're going to the office. So that's great. So just give a little natural glow and just kind of bring a pop to the skin. So lastly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with this e.l.f. small cycling brush, and I just like to really go and blend in so that my blush, my bronzer, and my highlight are all very blended, and we don't have necessarily 3 different layers, I guess, of it, but it's really a more blended look altogether. So for those of y'all who are wondering, I'll hold these up really fast for you. So this is Becca and Opal. You can definitely tell that it's kind of a darker gold color, kind of more of a rosy gold, and then this one has a lot more peach tone. So I don't know if you can really tell, I'm right by the window so the light's shining in, but so this one, once again, is Champagne Pop, and this one is Opal. They're also beautiful if you mix them together. If you really want a very dramatic highlight, I would definitely recommend mixing them together. It's absolutely gorgeous. So to finish up the eyes, what we're going to do is we're going to once again go in with this brown shade in our Pixie Beauty palette. And I'm going to go in with the Sigma E30 pencil brush. So it's just a little bitty brush. I'll come in for you so you can see what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go right along the lash line, right there, and just add a little bit of color. So what this is going to do is this is really just going to tie in our entire look and just really bring the whole eye look together. And so we're just going to make sure that's very blended. We don't want it to be super dark, anything like that. So today I'm going to go in as well, but this is just a nude eyeliner. And I'm just going to pop this on my inner waterline. This is totally and completely optional. If you don't want to do this, go ahead and skip it. It's not a big deal. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It just depends. So once we're finished with that, we are going to go in with our bottom lash mascara. I was about to say bottom lash highlighter. So let me grab that. Okay, so now that I have this, we'll get started. So I am using the Maybelline The Falsies Big Eyes Volume Express mascara. So I'm going in with the lower lash brush. You can see it's definitely a very tiny, very precise brush, and I love this. This is once again something that was featured on my Things I'm Loving Wednesday. So we're just going to go right in, and we're just going to pop this on. I love this brush because it very evenly and very easily coats the bottom lashes. So you can see I'm kind of messy with it. I've yet to be able to master putting on mascara without getting on my skin. But we'll do something at the very end of our look to clean all that up. So definitely don't worry about that. It's also hard when I'm kind of far away from my camera. I know that one I have a lot of stuff, so we'll take care of it. No worries. Hopefully I'm not the only one who can't put on mascara to save my life, but that's okay. So we have 2 more steps, and then we are going to be finished. Actually 3, I lied. So I'm going to go back in with Champagne Pop. I love to use this color as well for my brow highlight and my inner eye highlight. I feel like it really brings all the colors together, and it kind of keeps the same neutral palette throughout our entire look on our entire face. So I just like to pop some of that just for a little bit of pop and glimmer. I'm also going to go ahead and just pop it right into my inner eye for, once again, just another pop to kind of make me look more awake, more excited. There we go, more polished. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with lipstick. So today, the color I'm going to use, let me get it out of my little bag, is I'm going to go in with Ibiza. I don't know how you pronounce this. But anyways, it's a NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream. Another product. I posted that on the blog. That's all my lipsticks going to the floor. That's okay. So I'm just going to take this. I'm going to wipe it off. This is a very pigmented color. So it's very easy to kind of put on way too much. So I just like to wipe it off. And what I do is I just go in and do a sheer layer kind of on the bottom. And then I rub it together, and then I'll actually take my finger and just kind of really smooth it out. And this is, once again, just an everyday, like I said, I'm just going to run errands, so it's not like I need a super bold lip or I'm going for something super fun. Just something natural and simple. So to top that off, we're going to go with the NYX Butter Gloss in Creme Brulee. I love this. This is totally one of my favorites. I think it's the best nude lip gloss that I've ever used. I love it. It just gives a little bit of polish and a little bit of glam to our look. So, very last thing, like I said, we're going to go in. So, I'm just taking a Q-tip completely dry. Once that mascara has dried, we're just going to go right in, and we're literally just going to rub it off. And it'll come off, because now that it's dried, it kind of will flake off. And so, we're just going to clean that up. Make sure there's none on the top. There you go. And we're done. So, this is our look. Now I need to do something with my hair, of course, but that's really it. So very simple, but it makes you very pretty. It's definitely one of those looks that I've gotten compliments on just going out and about throughout my day, but it's very easy. It doesn't take a lot of time, so I hope you like it. If you do, definitely let me know. If not, pretend like you never watched it. So either way, definitely give me feedback. I'd love to hear what y'all have to say. Okay, I hope everyone has a great weekend. Bye!